In the end, we talk about this, there's a lot of people who still like Boris, but there are a lot of people who feel he's done quite a lot of damage to the Conservative Party and its brand.
Oh, I think that's right. And I think that's why this had to happen. I think, number one, trust, integrity, decency, truthfulness, that's big. But also on the policies, which is the thing that really upsets me. They've gone so far away. High taxes, big state, immigration running at record levels. I mean, there's a list as long as your arm of things they've done that just aren't consistent with what people expected. I heard what Steve said. There was no humility in the speech at all. Just the herd, these idiots.
The eccentric decision.
Yeah, they all turned against me. They're all fools. And he sort of trumpeted at what he saw as he saw his achievements. Do you know what? I just feel... and I've been more critical of him than almost anybody.
He's a load of valedictory speech.
But you know what? Do you know what? Don't kick a man when he's down. Yeah. He's had a pretty rough day, and
isn't that the thing? I always think about Boris Johnson. This is a man, when asked why he left journalism and got into politics, he said, "Well, journalists don't have statues built to him." And I remember a party conference last year. People were talking about this being the Johnson decade. This was a man that was going to win. He had the biggest majority since Thatcher in the 80s for the Conservatives. He was going to win the next election. We had to get used to Johnsonism, and yet here we are today where he's going to struggle to beat Theresa May's tenure in office.
Yes.
He's going to be a Callaghan, a Brown, a second-rate, let's be honest about it, a second-rate Prime Minister.
Yes, a second-rate Prime Minister, but in terms of history, and all right, I could say, look, he joined the Brexit campaign at 5 minutes to midnight, but he did join the Brexit campaign, and it was important that he did, and somebody had to cut the Gordian knot in 2019, and Johnson did that, and nobody can take that away from him. As I say, I felt for months he ought to go. I felt for months he was taking the party towards an electoral cliff edge at the next election. But on a day like today, I think let him have his moment. I'm not going to kick him whilst he's down. There will be friction next week. There'll be more calls from the majors and people like that for him not to have this 10-week period. I suspect ultimately the party probably will let him have it.
And just very finally, the election's less than 2 years away. The polls aren't that bad for the Conservative Party, but the economy's going to get a lot worse. Let's be frank about that. Do you think the Conservatives could still... it would be unprecedented, I think, for them to win what would be fifth term?
Only if... It would be a fifth term. Only if they learn the lesson of Brexit, which isn't just about leaving the EU. It's about completely changing the shape of British politics. It needs radical reform and change. It needs a House of Lords that's got rid of, an electoral system that has a degree of proportionality, a postal vote system that is cleaned up, bring back trust into the whole system, and maybe even a mechanism by which people can call referendums on big issues if they wanted to. If they did that and became the party of radical reforming change, they could win a fifth term.
And it's basically